Hey guys, what are we down here? FitPro Health Clinics, again 109 Princess Street. Want to catch up with you now about beta blockers and food. So, we've been going on our little series of beta blocking. We've talked about what that medicine is, how it works. We've talked about it's used for cardiovascular type disease. We've talked about exercises that are good. Yes, you need to keep doing exercise when you're on a beta blocker, when you're reducing blood pressure and stuff like that. We've also talked about how that beta blocker works. We've talked about how they're being olols, or the ingredient names. We've talked about what it can basically do for you, how it's supposed to be working, how it reduces your heart rate, and not to expect your training rate to be as high as it used to be. Talked about using a intensity scale, like a perceived rate of exertion, like a 1 to 10 type thing, to estimate your intensity of work. And we've also talked about how it affects your stroke volume, so how much blood is pumped out by the heart in each contraction. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about nutrition. So beta blockers and nutrition. First of all, you might see on your label sometimes when you get some medicines, it says take with or without food. Sometimes it's got take with food, or don't take within 1 to 2 hours of eating, that kind of thing. If you wonder what that's all about, well, basically, if you take a medicine, and in order for it to be absorbed, it's got to basically go through your stomach, your digestive tract gets into your small intestine, and from there it's usually absorbed into the bloodstream. Okay, now what can impact on anything that's coming down through your digestive tract may affect the absorption time of that drug, right? So how quickly it gets into your bloodstream, and therefore how quickly it starts to work. So, when they say take this medicine without food, i.e. take it 1 to 2 hours before, half an hour before food, or 1 to 2 hours after eating food, basically that means that that medicine will be affected by anything that's in your digestive tract. Its absorption will be affected, or it'll start reacting with the food and other stuff that's in there, and not be as effective, or not be absorbed as well into your bloodstream, and therefore not do as what it's supposed to do as well, right? So other medicines will say take with food, and that means basically that it's good to have some protection in your stomach, or for instance, sometimes they get you to take food with things like non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. That's sometimes just to help protect your stomach layer if there's something else in there. A lot of other medicines and stuff I say take with food, and basically that's just to protect your stomach lining, or it just means that it's not affected, that medicine will not be affected as much by stuff in your digestive tract. Right, so that's the quick thing about that. Now with beta blockers, let's kind of go back a bit. Beta blockers are basically, you're normally going to be given them if you're treating high blood pressure in most instances. Sometimes it's for heart failure, sometimes it's for not getting a normal contraction of the heart, stuff like that. Lots of different other things, but in general, you're probably going to be having a beta blocker for blood pressure. So, how do you reduce blood pressure with food? Well, blood pressure is bumped up because of stress. Okay, so any types of stress. Remember, your body doesn't distinguish between all these different types of stress. So when I say psychological stress, spiritual stress, physical stress, emotional stress, mental stress, all those stresses are cumulative. So they all combine, and your body reacts to them in the same way. Okay, generally speaking. What that means is that even though you might think, oh, this is this kind of stress, or this is work stress, and this is even exercise, for example, is a physical stress on the body, you might think, oh, those are completely different. Actually, no, the body is actually will respond to them in the same way. Now, how is that? Well, it puts up cortisol. So any stress will increase your cortisol level. Okay, and that has effects down the track. That's one of the hormones that regulates a lot of different systems in your endocrine system, okay, and how your body works. Now the other thing is foods can be a physical stress on your body. Now, when can that happen? Well, when we have foods that your body doesn't recognize as food. Okay, now I just read something last night. There's a lot of foods out there that probably are just a combination of different chemicals, and your body actually doesn't recognize what it's supposed to do with those chemicals. Remembering that food is supposed to be the building blocks of who we are. Okay, so your body uses the food you eat to make up who you are, right? Every cell in your body. If you're not getting good food, then what do you expect to be building? Okay, you can't expect to be building something good if the food that you're eating isn't good. Pretty simple. So in this situation with beta blockers and blood pressure and stuff like that, as I said, it's caused by an increase in stress. Now, food can be a physical stress on your body. When your body doesn't recognize these foods that we have out there these days. Okay, so best thing to do if you are taking a beta blocker is to reduce the amount of processed foods that you're eating. Now, just talking with a group last night, the easiest way to do that if you go shopping at a supermarket is to miss all of those middle aisles in the supermarket and just do that outside. So normally supermarkets are set up with like fruit and veg, you go meat, you go around the back, there's some, the fridge stuff, so dairy and all that kind of thing, milk and whatever, come around the other side and then check out. All that stuff in the middle you miss, okay, because that's pretty much all processed foods, it's in bags, packets, whatever else. Just a real simple way of remembering what's real food. Okay, another way to remember, Sean Croxton does JERF, which is just eat real food. So that means, again, try and eat less and less of that processed stuff, more and more real food. Now, real food, we're talking about good organic vegetables and meat. Okay, so it doesn't come with a label on it. It doesn't have on its ingredient list all these things you can't pronounce, all these different chemical things. It's not full of preservatives and all the other kind of things like that.